Hello, is it Abel?
Hello, teacher. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine. Thanks for asking.
How is your week going?
Oh, pretty well. A little busy, but pretty well.
And what do you do for work?
Okay, I have a degree in business and I work as a financial controller in a company, a chemical
Oh.
company.
Mm-hmm. And you're from Argentina, right?
Right, that's correct.
Mm-hmm. So how's the weather? Because it's winter now, right? Or
Yes,
fall?
but it's fall, but it's not seems like that because it's a little warm. Still,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little warm and a little rainy. That is not common in that season, in this season, but it's a comfortable weather till now.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking of going to Buenos Aires next January. Is that a good time?
Yes, January it's a little quiet in Buenos Aires because most of the people is in the beach, you know, it's
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
vacation.
Yeah.
January and February are 2 months of vacation here, so I guess it's a good season because it's a little hot, but you can attend to the theater, to movies, to museums without a problem, without crowds or something like that.
Yeah, that's good because I don't like crowds very much. So maybe
Yeah,
that's good for me.
for that is a good season.
Good. Oh, I'll keep
It's a
that in
little hot.
mind.
You need a lot of water and comfortable clothes.
Hmm. Yes,
But
I know it will be hot, but I like hot weather, so I think I'll escape to the southern hemisphere for my
okay,
winter and your
you
summer.
don't have any problem.
Yeah, good. Well, that's great. I just need to save some money first.
Ah, perfect.
Hmm.
That's needed. And you have a lot of attractions, so you need a little
Yes,
money.
exactly. And I'd like
Yeah.
to go to Montevideo too, because in Uruguay,
Ah,
because I have a friend who lives there.
yes, and if you have any chance, you can visit Colonia.
Hmm.
It's in Uruguay too, and it's
Hmm.
a very nice place to visit.
Can you type the name into the chat so I can write it
Yeah.
down?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Thanks, Abel.
Mm. No, you're welcome.
And we've got, let's see, we've got Adela here with us. Hi, Adela. How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
I'm great. How was the rest of your trip with your students?
I finish. I'm at home.
Good.
Well, this is a good group of students. It's not very bad. It's not problematic.
Good. Good. I know how it is when
Well,
you have some troublemakers with your students, you
yeah.
know? Okay, Antonio, you have to figure out your sound because it's very loud. Sorry to mute you, Antonio, but I just need you to fix the microphone. And let's see, we've got Eduardo here with us. Hi, Eduardo.
Hello,
How are you this week?
I'm great, thank you.
What have you been doing? What have you been up to?
Well, working at the morning and trying to learn English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what kind of job do you have?
I'm a civil engineer.
Oh, okay. And do you
Yeah,
like your job?
yes, I work in front of a computer. I would
Mm-hmm.
like to go more outside the office, but yeah, I'm a designer, so I work all day in the office.
Mm-hmm. That's what I say because I work from my home, so I feel like I have to go outside. Otherwise, I just spend all of my time in one room.
Yeah.
We got to branch out a little bit. I should walk outside every day just to feel like I'm a human. And let's see, who else do we have with us today? We've got Kadir. Am I saying that
Yeah,
correctly?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
Mark,
How are you?
and I'm doing well. You?
Good. Really good. I've had some family visiting. My aunt and her friend came to visit, So we had a very nice time, and now I'm back at work. So let's get started. Just want to say hello to a new student. I think it's Kako. I don't know how to say your name.
Yes, teacher. Kako. Nice
Kako?
to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And where are you from?
I'm from Brazil. Rio
Oh,
de
okay.
Janeiro.
Wow. Is it very busy where you are? Getting ready for the World Cup? Okay, so Antonio, I don't hear any feedback. I think it's okay. Are you there?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I hear the feedback when you're speaking, but it's okay. We'll just have you turn off the sound when you're not speaking and turn it on when it's your turn to speak, okay?
Okay.
And where are you from, Antonio?
I'm from Italy.
Oh, okay, great. Well, welcome. And let's see, we've got one other new student with us. Is it Bruno? Hi, Bruno.
Hi, Maureen. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
And where are you from, Bruno?
I'm from Brazil.
Oh, great. I think verbling must be very popular in Brazil. I have lots of Brazilian students.
Yes, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to get started now because I want to spend half of the class talking about the future and practicing our future tenses. And then if we have some time, I'd like to play a game and have more conversation. Give everyone a chance to speak. Okay, so this is an advanced class, but there's room for everyone. All right, so let me send you the link to the page. So we're going to start with future predictions. Just 1 second. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to show you all a slideshow that just gives a quick overview of how to form future predictions in English. Okay, so let me turn on my screen share and share that with you. Oh, we've got Omar with us. Hi, Omar. Long time no see.
Yeah, hello teacher, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Great. So we are doing future predictions today. So this is a short overview of how to form future predictions, a future tense. First we have the auxiliary verb plus the verb. Okay, so in this case it's going to be will. For example, I will visit my grandmother. That's happening in the future. Okay, and you can also use this to talk about the distant future. Okay, Kako, I'm not going to paste the link to this one, but I will paste the link to the other one. This one is just my materials that I use for all my classes, but I will send you the other link, okay? So the other option you have is when you're talking about things in the near future, you can use the second construction. We have the verb to be, which will be conjugated, and then you have the phrase going to, and then your verb. For example, I am going to walk my dog. All right? So when we're talking today, you can use either of these two constructions to make predictions about the future. So let's get started. So today we are going to be discussing the future of 2035. All right? We're going to talk about what we think the world will look like in the year 2035 as it relates to these different topics. Transport, and that means like planes, trains, cars, any kind of vehicle that moves us from one place to another. We've got energy, meaning are we going to power our machines with batteries, oil, wind, who knows, maybe something completely new. Work, money, languages. This one is really interesting to me. What do we think will be different about languages? What will be different about culture, including TV, music, movies, etc.? What will be different about technology and the internet? I can't even imagine. And another very interesting topic to me, what will be different about global politics? So here are some examples. Can I have someone please read the examples? Let's go with Abel. Could you read the first example, please?
Okay, examples. I think that in 2035 the euro will be dead and there will be a single world currency.
Interesting. Okay. Kadir, can you read the second example, please?
Of course, I think India could be the biggest economy in the world.
Okay, I think India could be the biggest economy in the world. Interesting. And Bruno, could you read the last example, please?
Maybe everybody will speak Chinese.
See, I don't know about that one, but it's an interesting idea. So let's start our discussion. All right, I'm going to paste the link for everyone in Verbling, and here it is in the group chat, so you can take a look. But you can see it there on the screen share. And so let's start with transport, just to get started. Let's hear from Adela. How do you think transport will be different in the year 2035?
I think that we'll use only electrical cars.
Okay. And is that how everyone will travel around, using electrical cars?
No, yet.
Not yet?
No.
Okay, so what do you think will be different about transport in the year 2035?
For sure, there will be more intelligent cars. Maybe someone without wheel and without pedals. Yes,
you mean without a steering wheel, right?
Yes, a steering wheel, yeah, right.
Because I don't think a car could go very far without wheels, but maybe it could be a hover car.
You're right.
Maybe.
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
That's okay.
And I guess there will be more transport by air, and even more underground.
Really? You think that will they build new subway lines?
Yes, I guess it's proved that it's a very efficient. It's very expensive, but it's a very very good mean of transportation in big cities.
But will that expand to smaller cities? Will they start putting in subways in smaller villages?
Yes, I guess a lot of. I guess in the future the population will be more concentrated in some cities, and maybe some small villages grow up very fast in the future.
That's definitely possible. These villages have to expand to fit more people, and our transport might change as well. I definitely think you're right about these driverless cars, because I think they are even inventing them here in California. So Google, the company, obviously they have a lot of money to make new inventions. They are inventing a car that can drive itself, which that would be amazing. I would love a car that drove itself. And some cars can even park on their own. And another thing I think they will do is they will invent more high-speed trains. I'd love for there to be a high-speed train between Los Angeles and San Francisco, because the only way to get there is to drive or to fly, and it'd be very nice to take a train. Okay, let's hear from Antonio. What do you think will be different about transport in 2035?
I think there will be cars that are smart cars. They have computer. They will have computer inside that can bring you to home, as you said. Also, I can remember a movie with Tom Cruise, if I remember well. It was a Minority Report.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, there are cars that you don't need to drive because they will move you to home.
Wow. Now that would be amazing. You could get in your car, and I think that would change things a lot because you could get into your car and you could do work from your car. So you could live really far away and do like an hour's worth of work on your way into work, which is called your commute. Okay, let's hear from one more person about transport. How about Eduardo? How do you think transport will be different in 2035?
Mm, we'll be able to fly individually. That would be
Oh,
great.
yeah, that would be. So are we flying in our own individual planes, or like are they cars that can fly?
I was thinking in some other engine,
Mm-hmm.
more light, with
Mm-hmm.
lightweight, and your back. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That would be
yeah,
pretty cool.
small distances, just for fun.
Yeah, that would be cool. You could fly to your friend's house in your little pod. Cool. I hope that is the case. But we're going to have to create all new rules for how to drive through the air, all new
Yeah,
traffic rules.
it could be dangerous.
It could be
Yeah.
very dangerous. Adela says driverless cars is a reality yet. That's true. They are inventing them as we speak. And I bet you in a few years we'll all be driving these self-driving cars by Google. I think it'd be pretty cool. I'd love to be able to drive to work, but just sit there and watch a movie or something. Have my coffee and wake up as I go to work. All right. Speaking of which, speaking of Google, let's jump down to the internet/technology. Let's hear from Bruno. How do you think the internet/technology will be different?
Well, I don't know.
It's a tough question because things change so
Yeah.
quickly.
Mm, I think that everything, today it's already like that, but I think that everything will be um, they will do everything on the internet
Mm-hmm.
using this technology,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how that will be. But I think something like that.
A lot of things will go over to the internet. I think there will no
Yeah.
longer be phone lines, but
Uh-huh.
everyone will use wireless internet. They'll use Wi-Fi to make phone calls.
Yeah.
Just
Hmm.
like right now, we are all kind of in a phone call together, but we're all using the internet. So I think we will no longer have phones. We will just call and text over the internet. Um, but what about things like smartphones? That kind of is involved with technology. Do you have a smartphone, Bruno?
Yes, I do, but I don't use it a lot, just sometimes.
How do you think smartphones will be different in 2035?
Um, I don't know. Maybe they will be um, smaller, even
Mm-hmm.
more smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know.
They could be
Probably they
smaller, or
will
they could
have.
do different things. Like,
Yeah, they will have more. How can I say? Functions,
mm-hmm.
things like that.
Yeah, I think that's true. They're always inventing new technology. What do you think, Kako? What do you think about smartphones and technology? How do you think those will be different?
I think they will be lighter
Mm-hmm.
and more powerful,
Mm-hmm.
totally integrated with other media
Mm.
like radio, television, um, and um, other media,
Mm-hmm.
and totally integrated by um, satellite,
Mm-hmm.
communicating by satellite, free from towers of communication.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope they will be um, cheaper than today, much
Yeah.
more,
Yeah, they
much
probably
more.
will be because if they go like all of the rest of technology, they will be cheaper. I mean, you'll have to see the price of technology over time. It always gets cheaper. Unless, of course, they invent something that makes it very expensive to produce. What I think will be different is I think our smartphones will be able to track more of the activity in our bodies. For example, your smartphone will be able to tell you what your heartbeat is and what your white blood cell count is. And then it will alert you if something is happening in your body. It will say, oh, you've caught the flu and you have the flu virus. Go to the doctor and get some antibiotics, for example. So I think that it's going to become more of a tool for health and medicine. That's what I predict. All right, anyone else want to weigh in on the internet or technology in 2035?
Maybe it will um, make possible to us to not need to commute every day to the
Mm-hmm.
work.
Mm-hmm. Well, technology has already contributed a lot. I mean, look at all of us right now. I'm teaching this lesson from my room, and you are all in your home countries. We are all learning together. That's pretty impressive.
Yes,
I could have never
yes,
predicted
it's
this.
fantastic.
It's great. That's one of my favorite parts about technology, is how easy it is to connect with people all over the world. All right, speaking of which, let's talk about my favorite subject, languages. What do we think will be different about languages? Now, this is a tough one because they are always changing and evolving, and lots of changes have happened in the last, let's say, 100 years in terms of languages, especially with this technology. So let's see, who have I not heard from? Let's go back to Kadir. What do you think will happen with languages by the year 2035?
Yeah, I think I don't think it will be more differences between uh, our year and this year
Mm-hmm.
because the languages are can changeable, but I think some of them will destroy destroy it, and some of them uh, will get some uh, dif- uh, will some get uh, different words
Different words? Mm-hmm.
because the culture changing culture is
Mm-hmm.
changing, and because of that the language should be change should be in a change.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And so when you're talking about languages being destroyed, we usually use the term become extinct. So some languages
Become
will become
extinct.
extinct. And by that I mean they will no longer be spoken. And that is very true. In fact, a lot of linguists have been trying to write down these languages and record them because they are dying out. So for those of you who are from Brazil, there are many languages spoken by people in the Amazon that are they're becoming extinct. I think it'd be very interesting to be one of the people who's recording these languages before they go extinct. But you'd have to travel to very distant parts of the world. Would you do that, Kadir? Would you go to the Amazon to record these languages?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like fair.
It doesn't seem fair?
Yeah,
To who?
for me,
Uh-huh.
but for the human being, it can be good because the languages shouldn't be extinct.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
Yes.
agree. I don't think languages should become extinct. What do you think about this idea that everyone will speak Chinese? Do you think that's true?
I don't know. Some people saying Chinese is the most easy language in the world. Some
Really?
of them say that. And but if you look at the number of people in China, it can be real bad.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's my
Yeah, I'm
it's
not
my
sure.
opinion.
Let's see. What do you think, Abel? What do you think? Will Chinese become the spoken language of more people?
I really don't think so because Chinese is very complicated, and I guess the common language within the world, all around the world, will be a more easy to learn language. I guess it will be probably English.
So do you
Not
think
only because
English is
not
an
only
easy
because
language?
sorry.
That's okay.
Tell me.
So does that mean you think that English is an easy language to learn?
Yes, if you compare for a speaking speaker, English speaker, it's
Mm-hmm.
more difficult to learn, for example, Spanish or even Portuguese.
Mm-hmm. But
But
many
math
people
is,
say Spanish is very easy to learn
yeah, you think
because
so?
the pronunciation is so standard.
Yeah.
Maureen,
I have a lot of bosses, not a lot, but several bosses, American bosses,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a really hard time trying to speak in Portuguese and
Mm-hmm.
in Spanish
Mm-hmm.
and to learn those languages. But I guess because of the economic importance of America
Mm-hmm.
and Anglo-Saxon world in general, Canada, uh, UK, and so on,
Mm-hmm.
English will be the common language.
Yes, I
Nowadays,
agree.
all the people are trying to learn English. Asian people, South American people, you know.
Okay, so if you had to predict the
Mhm.
next language that becomes the most popular language to learn, what would you predict besides English?
Besides English,
Yes, because it used to be, of
mm,
course, it used to be Latin, and then for a long time it was French, and
mhm,
now it appears to be English, but what do you think will be next?
Spanish for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Even in America, Spanish is growing very fast.
That is exactly right. At least when it comes to languages, in the year 2035, they expect that more than 50% of the population of the United States will also speak Spanish.
Mhm.
So, an interesting fact that most of you might not know, there is no official language of the United States. Did you know that?
I
No,
know actually.
I didn't know that.
Everyone thinks that the official language of the United States is English. The truth is,
Actually,
there is no official language.
actually,
Wow.
Maureen,
Mm-hmm.
I think you say there's no official language in the America, and uh, the reason is it should be the America is not have a nation. Yeah,
Is not what?
a nation. I mean, not a quick nation. There's so many nations melding
Mm-hmm.
there, and Spanish or French.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I think that's why the you don't know the official language.
Mm-hmm. But what I mean is that, of course, people assume the official language is English, although there are many Spanish speakers and many different nationalities. But the truth is, in the United States government, there is no recognized official language. And some states have an official language, but for most states, there's no official language. So it's kind of nice because it means that speaking one language is not better or worse than speaking another. And I really like that. And I think I like it also because I speak English and Spanish. So most of the time I know exactly what everyone is saying.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to give their thoughts about languages in the year 2035?
Actually, I want to say something
Sure.
about the Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
I said the Chinese is the most easy language in the world because I learned there's some icons in the Chinese,
Mm-hmm.
and these things have meanings. For example, if you wanna write down the rain means they have some drops in the picture or
Mm-hmm.
icon,
Oh, I
and
see. Yeah.
and every icon have these things, and
So
that's
it's
why I
easy to
said,
remember them?
yeah,
Interesting. Well, I think if I ever learned Chinese, I wouldn't bother to learn how to write in Chinese
yeah,
because I think it's more important to speak a language than to
yeah,
read and write.
it's real, yeah.
Good. Okay. How about we talk about I can't decide between culture and global politics. Which one shall we discuss?
Culture, I think.
Okay, let's start with culture. So let's hear from Eduardo. Well, what do you think will be different about our culture
Well, I
or
think we
your
live
culture?
in a world of globalization.
Mm.
So, like in languages, I hope about languages,
Mm-hmm.
people speak more than two languages in the future. That's what I think, because every country want to keep their traditions and his
Mm-hmm.
own language, of course. So, and in culture, in my opinion, is the same like languages. So
Mm-hmm.
we want to keep our culture, of course, in our country, but because of the globalization and internet, we are sharing a lot of things. So I suppose in the future, like words, we share a lot of common words in different
Mm-hmm.
countries. We are going to share in the future a lot of our culture. Yeah.
Hmm. You know, I think you're right because one thing I've noticed is as the years go on, especially with the internet, we can share so much that countries tend to take the same ideas. For example, if you have a popular TV show in Mexico, they sometimes do the same version, but in the United States with English-speaking actors. Or you might have a type of music that comes from Brazil, and then there are people in, let's say, Spain who start to sing in that style. So the exposure to these different pieces of culture make it so we can learn about each other's cultures and sometimes copy those ideas,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to art, like music and art and movies, because we can now watch a movie that came from Sudan or Iraq or anywhere in the world.
Yes, it's all about technology right
Hmm.
now. Yeah.
Hmm. I really think we can't even understand fully how much technology is going to affect our future. Let's hear
Yes.
let's hear from
It's difficult. It's
mhm.
difficult to imagine. I
It is.
agree.
It is, especially because technology means that things change so quickly. All right, let's hear from Adela. I haven't heard you speak in a while. What do you think will be different about culture?
I think it's possible decrease the culture. There are countries. This is about say Eduardo. This is country keep your tradition and don't lose your culture, your music, etc. But I think is the country more developed because they are other country or part country. They look like with other rich in quotation, no, rich country, and this is this look like the other culture is possible lose the our tradition, etc. The TV, etc. Offer a vision about the rich people is not really in the other country, and people think the other is the best. I'm not good in my country. I think it's a problem.
Yes, I think I know a specific example of what you're referring to because I did live in Spain and I heard from Spanish people that there was this TV program. I think you probably know this show, Españoles en el Mundo.
Yes.
Yes. So they showed this TV show, for any of you that don't know this program, that showed how Spanish people lived in other countries. And they looked like they lived these amazing lives where they were very wealthy or they were very successful, and they really liked living in foreign countries. And the point was to promote the lives of these people and show, this is how well they are doing. But there was kind of a backlash, which means there was some criticism. People didn't like it because Spanish people started to think, oh, well, if only I move out of Spain, my life will be great. Is that what you're referring to, Adela?
Yes, this is see or watch the TV and other culture. I think your our culture or tradition or music is not the best. The best is the other, no?
Yeah, to sort of think that you can have a better life somewhere else. There's a great phrase in English. If you don't know it, it's worth learning. It's called "the grass is always greener." Has everyone heard this phrase before?
Yes.
So Adela, what does it mean? The grass is always greener.
It's the neighbor in the house to the neighbor, no? The green is the best to the same grass.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a metaphor. So the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. So it always looks better on wherever you are not. At your neighbor's house, it looks like the grass is greener. But if you went to your neighbor's house and you looked back at your own yard, the grass would look greener from there. So it's a metaphor for wanting things that other people have and how that's not usually a good way to live your life. All right, anyone else want to weigh in on culture, or shall we move to global politics? Ooh.
Yes, I can give a note about culture. I think you're right about your considerations, but on the other hand, I am seeing that a lot of tourists here in Argentina. I live in the province of Salta, where is a lot of tourism, and the tourists are always eager to taste traditional dishes and to see traditional culture expressions like folklore and that kind of things. And that makes that our culture became alive and even more practiced here in Argentina. And it's the same when you travel. When I go to Brazil, I just don't like to eat meat because I eat meat all the whole year. So I like to try feijoada, that kind of things typical from Brazil. So I don't know the impact of that kind of situation, but I think that will be that will create some focus to keep alive the cultures and the traditions.
Interesting perspective, Abel. That's very interesting because when you see how other people interact in your culture, it makes you want to preserve your culture. So maybe there's more of an effort to retain your traditions. That's interesting. I never thought about it from that perspective. Great. Okay, well, let's move on to global politics. Let's hear from, Kako, I haven't heard you in a while. What do you think will be different about global politics in 2035?
By one hand, I think internet has made possible will make possible many transformation in many political transformations as we have been seeing around the world. The movement of people asking for transformations, asking for democracy, self-organization of people independently from leaderships, from traditional leadership. It's very interesting. I think that this tendency will follow for the next years.
Yes.
On the other hand, I think that traditional politics try to organize themselves in order to put barriers against this tendency of self-organization of the people.
Yeah.
By this point of view, I think that there is a risk. There is risk of more radicalization. Come from conservative sectors, and possibly I don't discharge the possibility of grow some kind of totalitarian government around the world. It's not an idea. It's possible. It's a menace, a menace against democracy. I
Yes.
think um, that maybe could come from conservative sectors that are not happy with the transformation.
That's true. There's always going to be some pushback whenever change is trying to be made. Absolutely. Yeah.
By one hand, more
Mm-hmm.
democracy. On the other hand, the possibility of radicalization of conservative sectors
Mm-hmm.
trying to to have back to have newly the power lost.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you, and that is something to consider and to be afraid of happening. But I also believe that there are so many young people who are connected through the internet around the world that when you see the radicalization, it has to do with people who used to have the power and don't have it any longer. And so, in a way, they're fighting for something they cannot get back. So I'd love to think that we will only move forward, but I agree that we do have to be aware that this stuff usually comes with some kind of backlash. But trust me, I know I live in the United States. Yes, very interesting. Wow, you have a very political mind. Let's hear from Eduardo. What do you think will happen with global politics?
Well, I don't put too much faith in politicians.
I can
In my
tell from your
opinion,
comments.
in my opinion, they are going to do what always did, or
What they've always done.
yes, done. Yeah, because they are going to adapt. I think technology change is going to be so amazing in the future. It's going to be more quicker than social change or business change. So political change, I think is going to be at the end. They are going to adapt to the situation, and they are thinking always in his term of office and no more. That's my opinion. I think yes, it of course they have to make decision. If we are thinking in a global aspect, of course we need some changes, but I think they are going to adapt, just adapt and fight for the next election. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so the game is rigged, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder though, because from my perspective, things will change when we all stop being okay with a broken system, but I don't know how that will happen. So one thing I think will change is that many people who are like people who graduated from university and maybe because of the recession, the economy was very bad and so they didn't have a job. And it makes people very upset when they can't just go out into the world and make money and like be successful. And it used to be the system where some people could just go to school and do well and then live a fine life. And now we're seeing this problem of what do you call it, an imbalance of wealth. And even the Pope has said that we need to find a way to redistribute the wealth in this world. So maybe there will be some changes from people who are tired of an imbalance among the rich and the poor.
Yeah, but it requires a lot of time because we have a structure, and there is all politician in the structure, and these young people are going to join these parties. So it's complicated when you are in the power, and it becomes normal. In my opinion, I'm not a politician, but I'm sure when you are young, a young politician have a lot of aspiration, but then when they join the party and you have to do that, and this is what it is, and this is what you have to do, and that's it. So yes, it's complicated, but yes, I hope in the future. Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm
Step by
hopeful
step.
for, yeah, I think what might happen is I think the system does need a lot of work, but I think that if they get the right people in there that make young people start to believe in change, it's a long process. I mean, one thing I would like to see is I would like for there to be a female president of the United States. I think it would be very interesting to see how different this country is run by a woman instead of a man. So I'm somewhat of a liberal, so I think my opinion is not shared by everyone, but that's how I think things will change the most, is when you start to ask people, who is this government working for, and how can we change it? All right, so I think that's enough for talking about the future. I was hoping we could have some fun at the end of our class today and play a little game called Would You Rather? So this is a conversation game where you have to ask questions, and they are between Would You Rather. So have any of you ever played Would You Rather before?
No.
Okay, so here's the link to the questions. There are questions you ask, and they have two options. For example, the first one says, would you rather give up all alcohol for the next 30 days or have to butcher your own meat for the next 90 days? So they're all kind of strange questions, but let me make this a bit bigger. And let's see, I'm going to ask Eduardo, would you rather be able to fly or turn invisible?
Well, I could rather be able to fly, of course. I like travel. So
Oh, okay. So
yes,
you should, when you answer the question, you can answer with the construction I would rather. Not I could rather, but I would rather.
I would rather, yeah, of course, be able to fly.
Really?
Because I like to travel, and that would be amazing.
And where would you
It,
fly to?
invisible just to spy, or yeah, it's not that funny. If you can travel and go wherever you want, you can go to a private island with anyone if you want privacy. So yes, I would
True.
rather to be able to fly, of course.
And you could visit every country in the world.
Yeah.
And if you got into a bad situation, you could just fly away.
Exactly. No more traffic jam. Also,
No
I get
more traffic
really
jam.
nervous with that.
You could fly to work. You wouldn't have to commute anymore.
Yeah.
Good. All right, Eduardo, you can pick any of these questions and ask another student.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Abel, for example.
Okay, that's fire.
Would you rather have a photographic memory or be able to forget anything you wanted?
No, I rather want to have a photographic memory because I guess most of the memories or the memories are very important for people. I really like to travel too, and I travel for the memories. Of course, for the fact to enjoy the travel and the experience, but I used to watch all the photographs with my wife and remember the situations, the travels, the trips, and that is a second way to enjoy or it's a way to enjoy the second time or third time the same trip.
Excellent. I think I agree with you about that. If I had a photographic memory, I'd never lose my car keys. All right, Abel, you want to ask someone else another question?
Okay, to Kaku. Kaku, would you rather have $50,000 free and clear, or 150,000 that is illegal?
Oh, good question. Wow, that's a tough one.
I would rather have 50,000
Lord, Caco.
free, working legally, and sleeping. My mind sleep with my mind tranquil,
Yes,
free
sleeping
of worries.
peacefully. Yeah.
Because the money earned illegally many times cause trouble in the life of the owner. I prefer to live free of worries, to live tranquil.
You could say with a clear conscience.
Clear conscience. Yeah.
All right. So let's do one more question. So, Kako, you can ask any other student one of those questions.
Adela.
Yes.
Adela, would you rather have 2 tickets to this year's Super Bowl or 2 seasons tickets to the NFL team of your choice?
I don't know because I don't like Super Bowl in Spanish, but I don't. I can choose any option. Sorry.
You're going to get the 2 season tickets to the NFL team, and you're going to pick the Green Bay Packers, and then you're going to give them to me.
It's a good idea.
That's a good choice.
2 tickets to go to a bullfight. No?
Okay, maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't go to that. Oh, Adela, would you go to that?
I choose 2 tickets to go to see Rafa Nadal play.
Yeah, watch Rafa Nadal play a game of tennis. Okay, Adela, I'll give you a chance. Why don't you ask Kadir a question?
Would you rather have a boring, repetitive job that pay 19,000 for year, or an engaging job that you really enjoy but it pays 45,000 for year? Dollars for year.
Yeah.
It's for everyone, no? Because all people.
You could say everyone, but I don't think Kadir has answered a question.
Yeah.
So Kadir, what would you do?
It's of course I don't choose the 45.
Really?
Because it's really old age to do some child. I don't think it's a good choice. I choose the 19 years old because it's more common thing, I think.
Oh, I think you're reading the wrong question. She said, would you rather have a boring, repetitive job that pays 90,000 a year, or an engaging job that you really enjoy but it pays 45,000 a year?
Now I see. Okay. Actually, I choose the what I enjoy because I can't stand the boring repetitive job.
Yes, it wouldn't be worth the money if you hated going to work every day.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, that's the end of class today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you,
Okay, guys.
teacher.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Nice to meet
Bye.
you,
Bye,
all of you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.